The first one is an update on what can be recycled curbside for single-family home residences in Park Forest. Sustainability Coordinator Sarah Coulter is going to walk the board through some of the news we've gotten from Star Disposal, new items that can be put curbside. Sarah, if you would.
Sure, thank you. So this is an update to our recycling program. Most of you are very familiar with our recycling program, but those of you at home or watching online may find something new in this presentation. So a lot of people don't know that recycling is actually included in your garbage bill. On your water bill, it only says garbage. It doesn't mention recycling, but a lot of people think that there's an additional cost to recycling, or they never got a green bin, so they just have never bothered recycling. This is included in what you pay. So if you do not have a green bin, and of course the green bin is the one for recycling, the brown one is for trash, you can call Homewood Disposal, or you could call our Department of Public Works, and they can arrange for you to get a bin. If one bin is not enough, you have more recycling than you have trash, you can get a second bin. A lot of people don't know that one as well. So what I think is pretty extraordinary is I get a lot of sustainability-related news articles and magazines, and a lot of them are touting, you know, communities finally getting curbside recycling. And of course, Park Forest has had curbside recycling for quite some time. So I think that's something to be proud of. But what's not something that's very common is some of the recyclables that are taken. So, or another thing that's really not very well used is the CNG, or compressed natural gas, fueling most of the trucks that collect trash in our community. 80% of all trucks that collect trash and recycling are fueled by compressed natural gas. So that's important because compressed natural gas does not have the emissions that a diesel truck that would have, and so the air that is breathed on Tuesday mornings as the trucks go through the community is much better for Park Forest than other communities. So items to collect, of course, paper of all kind, all those old phone books that you have, cardboard boxes if you break them down, glass, aluminum cans, steel and tin cans, plastic bottles. Plastic, if you look at the bottom of anything plastic, you'll see one of these numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If it has a 6 on it, it can't be recycled. That's the only thing that can't be recycled. 1 through 7 is great. Throw it in the recycling bin. And what's new, and I know not a lot of people get as excited about this as I do, but I happen to use a lot of products in cartons. And Homewood Star Disposal now recycles cartons, and it's fantastic because they're made of paper, and paper is probably one of the most valuable recyclable materials, but I know we all have these at board meetings, so these can now be placed in the recycle bin. Many recycling programs do not take these because a lot of them, if they're shelf stable, will be lined in a thin piece of foil or something like that, or they have a waxy coating on them, but Homewood Star will now take cartons. So the only thing with all recyclables are that you have them empty, but you don't necessarily have to have them rinsed or cleaned spick and span. Juice box is another one that is a great recycling. Great for recycling now. What's not collected is that number 6. So number 6 is styrofoam, which is my nemesis material. Although there are new technologies that are going to start recycling styrofoam, but styrofoam will just last forever. Thin plastic takeout containers, silverware is not, plastic silverware is not recyclable. Plastic bags, saran wrap, bubble wrap, that can be recycled, but just not in the curbside. Those you take to Target or to your grocery store, it's interesting to know or important to know that anything that's wrapped in plastic that you tear off, you can actually recycle that too. So not just the plastic grocery bags, but anything plastic that's a thin, almost like a plastic wrap of any kind, as well as Ziploc bags. A lot of people wash out their Ziploc bags and reuse them, which is great. But if you're, had your peanut butter and jelly in there and the peanut butter is really smashed in there, you don't want to scrub it out, just throw it in the recycle bin and take it to your grocery store and it can be recycled from there. Of course, electronic waste can't be recycled on the curbside. We have a donation box here in Village Hall. You can bring any electronic waste except for TVs to Village Hall. Please don't bring your TVs. There are many resources where who will pick up your TVs for you. Hazardous waste, window panes or mirrors, or ceramics. This is another thing that people often get confused. If they break a plate at home, they think that, oh, well, it's glass, it can be recycled. Ceramics cannot be recycled, they have to go in the trash. Yard waste, of course, and then used oil or oil containers. So here's some tips. So we mentioned single stream or curbside recycling. So single stream means that all recyclable items can go in one bin. You don't have to separate paper from glass, from tin cans, from aluminum cans. They all go in one bin. You don't have to do any kind of sorting. And then please don't carry your, like a garbage bag. You don't need a garbage bag full of recyclables to put into your recycle bin out on the curbside. Just dump them all in without the plastic bag. So it might be a good organizational thing for you to have at home in a garbage bag, and you don't want it to get all messy, so you have it in a plastic bag. Well, dump the recyclables without the plastic bag. It actually helps speed along the process of the recycling at the recycling plant. Like I mentioned, rinsing out the containers is not necessary. However, recycling is picked up every other week, and in a hot summer day, a recycling bin full of old yogurt containers might smell a little bit ripe. Maybe you want to do a light rinse on that. But again, rinsing is not necessary. A lot of there's a lot of mixed messages on whether or not you should leave the caps on your water or pop bottles. Leave the caps on for Homewood Star disposal. They're too small and they get caught in their machinery and will cause their recycling line to shut down. So leave the caps on. Pizza boxes are typically not recyclable because the grease from the pizza contaminates the paper. However, the top of the box doesn't have any grease on it. So if you want to be really attentive, tear off the top of the box, throw that in the recycle bin. The bottom greasy part can go in the trash. And then if you do your own shredding at home, shredded paper does not do well in their machines as well. So I recommend that you come to the annual Park Forest Document Destruction Day, take all your shreddable items there, and they will get recycled appropriately. This year, as you may know, I've done a Sustainable Saturdays gardening series that has been off to a great start, and I'd like to do the same thing. And the idea is to not only get more people involved in gardening, but to also drive additional traffic to the Park Forest Farmers Market. So on these second Saturday of the month is going to be Sustainable Saturdays Recycling. And this is a draft lineup of what recycling events we'll have. And more information will come on that soon. And then, of course, the question of why you should recycle. The one picture shows this nasty truck dumping trash into a landfill. And as landfill space and regulations get tougher on landfills, the cost of tipping fees, or the whole cost that gets passed on to consumers, is going to go higher and higher. So the great thing about taking the time to recycle now is it's probably going to kind of hedge your fees at the landfill. If you have less trash to be picked up. If you recycle more, these recyclable materials, like you can see in the bales of aluminum cans here, they actually have a market value. And actually, aluminum cans from start to finish can be on the shelf, and then 6 months later, used, recycled, and back on the shelf. So really a better and more economical or efficient way to watch your garbage monthly dollars. Some resources for you. Of course, the Village of Park Forest website, homewooddisposal.com, has a lot of great resources and has activities on there. And then if you have things that you're not quite sure how to recycle, like batteries or CFLs or where you can take them, this website, earth911.com/recycling, you can type in your zip code. You can look for whatever article you're trying to recycle. Maybe it's carpet. That's a really tough one. Maybe you have some hazardous waste. They'll direct you to a location where you can actually get those items off your hands and recycled and disposed of in a proper way. And if you have any questions, of course, you can always contact me via email or phone.